is this?
According to the letter, this should be the place.
Sorry, we don't serve the general public.
Wait! We're not the general public.
Well then, you must be a couple of wandering outlanders that snuck into the nation, judging by your attire.
Are our clothes really so...
The Yashiro Commission's seal. This must be from Mr. Toma. It seems there's more to you than meets the eye. In which case, welcome to the Komore Tea House, a safe haven for the Yashiro Commission.
Well, that sounds more like it. Well, now that we're here, where's Toma? Paimon doesn't see him anywhere. Do you think he forgot his promise to meet us?
Who forgot their promise? I was beginning to think you'd
What? Is that Dog
Relax, no need to look so surprised. I take it this is the first time you've seen me in this... Huh. So you didn't see anything like this when you were in Liyue Harbor?
Now that you mention it, this does suddenly seem less out of the ordinary.
Alright, I've had my fun.
Hey! You're this close to getting an ugly nickname, mister!
Well, I've had some time to kill, given that I've been waiting here for you for so long. So I came up with this little fun greeting for when you... But in all seriousness, I would like to apologize about that little test you went through. It helped us determine whether or not to bring you before Miss Kamisato, and whether you had the courage to...
Don't think that Paimon's gonna forgive you just because you're getting all serious now.
Sorry, did I overdo? Let me just say this. You've often... Naturally, this is due to your unwavering... A long time ago, we had a friend who was much the same. So you've heard... His light still burns all the more brightly. Yes, of course. I will bring you to the... But before that, there is one other place I was...
Oh?
I would like you to come with me to the statue of the omnipresent god. It's still under construction now.
This area sure feels gloomy. People probably don't come here often. Huh? Are Paimon's eyes playing tricks? Or are there things embedded in the statue?
Visions.
Visions? You mean all the visions that are collected from the Vision Hunt Decree are put into the statue?
So you've already heard of the Vision Hunt Decree. Before I try to explain, I should perhaps remind you first that as for Inazuma, it's known as the nation. The Raiden Shogun is both the nation's most powerful The eternity in question is her endless and unchanging will to rule. As such, she relies on the Tri-Commission to regulate the nation's affairs, and the Shogun wishes to keep Inazuma in stasis, allowing the stream of time.
Seems like every god has their own whim.
Of course, this is my own limited understanding. Perhaps the Shogun believes that visions grant people the... Whatever the case, the fact is that the Raiden Shogun has dispatched it, and this statue of the omnipresent god...
But if that's the case, wouldn't you say that the Raiden Shogun is being... oh, I don't know... selfish?
Only outlanders such as yourselves would... And yet, I agree. The Vision Hunt Decree is something that simply should not exist.
Huh? Hey, are you okay? You look
Sound? What sound? I didn't...
Yeah, you touched the statue, and then...
Aspirations? Have you heard it before? That when a person's ambition reaches, that is where visions come from. In other words, so if what you just said is true, then the ambitions of these people are stronger than I imagined. Alright, time for the next stop on our tour of Narukami Island, the Kamisato residence.
So, this is the kind of place where the big shots of Inazuma live, huh? Paimon kinda expected it to be... snazzier.
Welcome at last to the Kamisato residence, honored guest.
Is this the Shirazage Himegi... Oh, behind the screen?
Yes. As the daughter of the Yashiro, consider it a time-honored tradition within the Yashiro.
Makes sense.
Please forgive my lack of courtesy for receiving you in this fashion, as I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation. And Toma, at present in Inazuma, in the name of the Vision Hunt Decree, though the Yashiro Commission serves the Shogun, it is the people with whom we share close bonds. Given the contact we are required to have with them in the performance, a commission's power rises and falls with the trust of their people. Thus, we cannot remain indifferent to this situation with Traveler. Lend us your power, and we can... Oh...
See, milady, it's just like I said. This will take us nowhere.
No, please! Wait! Please, don't... I will introduce you to the Raiden Shogun on one condition. You must fulfill 3 small wishes on my behalf.
What are your wishes?
They pertain to 3 whose visions were taken from them. Perhaps once you've met them, you will understand.
A warrior who guards a village, a former samurai who helped carry out the Vision Hunt Decree, and a swordmaster determined to become the best in the world.
Correct. Please do all you can to help them.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Ayaka told us about.
Why are you doing this? Why leave all of a sudden after...
Precisely. It's much too sudden. We've had no time to prepare. The children are desperate for you to take them out to play. Please, we urge you to reconsider.
That must be the guy Ayaka told us about.
Ah, you must also be here to Teijima has protected this place, keeping out the treasure hoarders, fending off any monsters that draw near, resolving quarrels between the villagers. He has put an enormous amount of work into looking after this place. But now, all of a sudden, he says he plans to leave us. We can't help but wonder. We will gladly apologize if that's the case. All we want is for him to stay.
If you want my opinion, it's clear that Teijima had done nothing wrong, and still they confiscated. I can't claim to fully understand it, but I could tell that he'd lost something very important. Truth be told, We aren't sure whether trying to keep him here.
Seems like he's a well-respected guy around here.
One day,
You must be Tejima. So what's made you want to up and leave all of a sudden?
Me? It's not a question of why I want to leave. True. But that's not why I chose to stay here. And what made me want to come here 30 years ago? And why have I never wanted to leave in all that time? I don't have answers to those questions because I can't remember anymore. In the past, I knew I wanted to stay here. But whatever resolve I had then, it's gone now.
Okay. Well, in that case, if we help you rediscover the reason you chose to stay, you won't need to leave anymore, right? But if you can't... Oh! Maybe if you just try a little harder to remember, then it'll all come flooding back?
Oh, that reminds me. Last time I brought Tejima some fruit, I do believe I saw him writing in a diary.
I keep a diary? If you say so. I honestly can't seem to remember.
Oh, yes, you do. And what's more, I remember you saying at the time that you wanted to make a note of a few interesting things.
Perfect! So if we want to keep Tejima from leaving, we just need to find his diary.
If you don't mind, we will leave you to find the diary.
let's play!
This looks like Tejima's diary, all right. Let's see what we have here. Today, the villagers and I got together to cook dry braised salted fish. I messed up and burned mine a little, so I had to pretend that it was black snakehead instead. Today, I helped rescue a kid who had fallen in the water. After I pulled him out, he told me that his best friend Bamboo was still in the... I went kite flying today. The string broke, so I chased after it as fast as I could. I soon realized I was never going to get it back, so I just found somewhere to sit and watch as it flew away into the distance. Seems like your average diary of daily village life. Huh? Wait, there's more! I went to pray at the shrine again today and stayed there a while. The Omamori you gave me has faded a little, but it is still my most treasured possession. Now that's the kind of info we're looking for. Time to pay a visit to the shrine. So this is the Omamori Tejima wrote about. Interesting. Looking at the color and the design, Paimon would have thought it belonged to a child. But anyway, if he had this with him all the time, there's a chance some of his elemental energy remains. Here we are! This seems to be somewhere that Tejima visited a lot. The soil looks like it's been disturbed. Maybe Tejima buried something precious here. So must be something pretty amazing if it made him stick around for 30 years. Let's dig it up and take a look. It looks like a letter. The paper's gone yellow. Konda Village. Sounds so familiar. Where is that place again? Huh. So the reason Tejima came here was to wait for someone. But he's been here for 30 years. Oh, guess they didn't show up in the end, huh? Well, let's go give Tejima his...
Well, I'll be. That's certainly my handwriting. And I guess the Omamorian letter belonged to me too. But I have no memory of anything that's written in this diary. Still, it's clear that I was waiting for someone here. Over the years, I must have made a note of anything interesting. Anything that I could share with her when we were... And just look at all the things that did happen over the years. How could I have forgotten something so important to me? Now that I think about it, when my vision was taken from me, it felt love, regret, everything I felt for her. No. After all, I've forgotten who she was. Her face, it's as if she'd never been in my life to begin with. As if... I think... maybe not. Although, what if she were to turn up eventually, only to find I didn't remember when I think about it like that? How curious. Why am I thinking like this when I don't even remember? Thank you both for helping me reconnect with my... I shall remain here.
Tejima seems to be dealing... okay. But still, it makes Paimon really sad. Seems it's just like Ayaka and Toma were saying. If you lose your vision, you lose all your hopes and dreams too. That certainly explains the state Tejima was in earlier. At least we were able to help him. Well, let's go find the next person. According to Miss Kamisato, the second one who lost their vision is a samurai from the Tenryou Commission. They say the Tenryou Commission is directly controlled by the Shogun. They're the ones responsible for maintaining law and order in Inazuma. But why would they take action against one of their own? Paimon doesn't get it. Huh? There seems to be some commotion over there. Let's go see what's happening.
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to withhold this month's emergency provisions?
The entire clan is counting on that food. We demand an explanation.
How many times do I have to say it? I don't know anything about emergency provisions.
You dare deceive us? Those provisions are essential. Do you understand? Not...
You samurai think you can just do whatever you please? The Tenryou Commission will hear of this!
Oh, huh? And who are you? One of Kurosawa's
What? We just happened to be passing by. We heard the commotion and came to see what the matter was.
I see. You seem to have come just at the right time. Perhaps you can help us settle this matter. This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army. They issue emergency provisions to the area, and he's the one responsible for distribution. In the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. Now, he suddenly refuses to give us anything. He's keeping the provisions for himself, I just know it. We'll starve without them.
No one seems to care about us. We used to think Kurosawa was a kind man. but he's shown his true colors. He's the same as all the other samurai. It's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated. The Raiden Shogun doesn't need people.
This must be one of the people Ayaka asked us to help. But why would she ever want us to help someone like... Maybe we should talk to Kurs.
I've never even heard of these emergency provisions. I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me. But either way, it's ridiculous. My own family can barely get by as it is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got other matters to... And that's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy.
Well, that's strange. You were helping enforce the vision hunt.
To be perfectly honest, I don't seem to remember the details. All I know is that I would perform certain things. And it's not just that.
Does it have to do with the missing emergency provisions?
I didn't take any. Like I said, if I was taking them for myself, I wouldn't be... To top it all off, my house was just raided by treasure hoarders. If you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders yourself.
Huh. He seems to be telling the truth, but we better confirm. Let's go round up those treasure hoarders. We should be able to follow their
Wouldn't gliding be faster?
Is she still okay?
I've been to the outside world before.
The campaign begins.
Time for takeoff.
We really outdid ourselves this time. All those samurai houses packed with goods. We really hit the jackpot. I mean,
You haven't seen anything yet. Today's just the beginning. I'll be leading you all on an epic... You demand, boss!
These seem like the treasure hoarders we're after. Let's teach them a lesson.
Yahoo!
you're
Don't waste my time.
Motion to compel.
Oh, there goes all the Mora. We worked hard to steal that, you know? Come on, boss. Think of something.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoarders? We could use some Kurosawa. Oh, so he's the one who sent you after us, huh? Just our luck.
So what did you see inside? Was it stuffed with food supplies?
Food supplies? You kidding? That place was a complete mess. I didn't want anyone else to see it, so I was planning on opening it myself. But now that you've caught us, how about we make a deal? That little box for our freedom.
You've got a deal. Now
Huh? What the?
There's nothing in here but I.O.
Yeah, a lot of them too. And they all seem to be made out to the owner of a general goods store. We better talk to this Miss Aoi and get to the... As for you guys, you're free to go. Just pray that our paths...
Yes.
So, we redeemed ourselves for some IOUs.
Shut it. Let's just get out of here.
Welcome to Tsukumomono Groceries. We've got everything you need. Can I help you find some? Or perhaps there's something you want to inquire? Ah, so you're friends of Kurosawa, I take it? Perhaps you're here to pay off his debts.
Whoa, whoa! Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're just here to learn where they all came from. How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much money? Did he buy anything super expensive here?
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foodstuffs. However, the price of provisions began to skyrocket recently, and his salary was no longer enough to cover the cost.
So that's how he was getting those emergency. But why did he have to purchase a usual amount? If the prices increased, couldn't he?
Well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provisions must have been carefully calculating how much they need. Kurosawa thought that it would be quite the disappointment for them if they found they didn't so he deemed it necessary to take on the debt rather.
Wow. Kurosawa was purchasing all the emergency provisions at his own expense. And no one ever appreciated what he did. They just complained and held him accountable.
People's attitudes will always reflect their circumstances, in the face of hardship. If you ask me, had Kurosawa told everyone the truth about the supplies from the start, of course, I'm sure there would still have been some unrest. What he was doing was truly a thankless deed. As for why he chose to spend his own money on emergency provisions, if you're still curious, why don't you go ask him yourself? I see. That reminds me, it seems that his vision was recently most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name...
Sword? What sword?
Oh, didn't he tell you? He possesses a very valuable blade. I've asked him about its origins. He told me that it was a gift from his father. In hindsight, I regret that I never made an offer on it. Everything has its price. Why don't you ask him about the sword yourself? Perhaps it'll even provide you with the answers you're... Oh, but before you go, if you would
But we didn't buy anything!
Information is all... Don't worry. I won't charge much for information about Kurosawa. Nothing we ever discussed was explicitly
At least we now know where the emergency provisions were coming from. Let's go talk to Kurosawa again. What are you doing here all by yourself? Where did those other two go?
I presented them with a choice. Either they left or I drew my sword. It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders?
That just about sums it up. It turns out that you really were distributing emergency provisions.
Strange. Is that really the kind of person I was? I don't really have any such recollection. Why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? And why would I put myself in such a difficult situation? But I could not deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, I could sense that my body was somehow reluctant to do so. This sword was once wielded by my father. I remember once when I was young, I wanted to sneak out with the blade and show it off to the kids next door. What did he say? I can't seem to remember that either. It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision was taken from me. So all I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed and said to me, with this...
Hey, if you look carefully, there seems to be some words. Can you recognize the words?
Virtue and justice? Somehow those two words seem to be taking on seemingly endless debts to make others happy. But what use are virtue and justice? I purchased the provisions for those in need. And look how things ended up. The Tenryo Commission seized my vision. And the irony of all of it is, I somehow still felt sorry when I'm incapable of being a good person, yet I'm equally unable to be bad. I don't know what to do with myself.
Yet another troubled soul. When we get the chance, Let's speak to Toma about Kurosawa's debt. In any case, we must never let him sell off that sword. Yeah, seems like losing all ambition is a terrible... Fortunately for us, you don't have a vision. Let's go find the next poor soul.